Alright, how's it going, guys? My name is Matthew. I'm here for Week 1, Season 5 of the IPA, International Pokemon Association League, I'm probably going to have, like, an actual video pertaining with a few kind of specifics about the league. I don't really want to go into details about it right now, but I've got something about IPA coming out soon, so I won't really talk very much about that. I might have a draft analysis coming out as well fairly soon, so I won't really go over my picks too much. I'll go over the team really quick, I suppose. The way I have this recording set up, this might look weird on the team builder, but I have a Rocky Helmet Fizdef Mew. I'm actually not bringing defog this week, which is or like removal of any kind, which is kind of interesting. But I mean, it's alright for me, I suppose. Gyarados is the only thing weak to it. I've got Regenerator, I've got a few things that can deal with it. This is pretty much specifically for Lopunny, just get chip onto Lopunny. Pretty much, yeah, that's the only thing. Frustration Return isn't going to be doing an insane number of damage to Mew, so it's not as if I get 2-kill without leftovers, so this is nice. Tangela, I'm bringing specially defensive, although I actually am kind of predicting him to be a physical Tapu Koko, if not a mixed Tapu Koko with Brave Bird for Tangela. Because Tangela's interesting because it avoids a 2-hit KO from max attack if you're max Fizdef, and it avoids a 2-hit KO from max special attack if you're specially defensive from Tapu Koko. Like HP Ice and Brave Bird, it dodges the 2-hit KO from both of those, which is really cool. So, I mean, I was expecting physically offensive, but if you don't invest in special defense, then Tangela actually gets blown away, because base 40 is just so low if you don't invest into it. But base 115 defense is still pretty decent, so even if he's physically offensive, which I pretty much am assuming him to be, this is going to be nice. It also is kind of nice for Starmie as well. Hidden Power Ice for the Landorus, which I'm expecting to be Flyname Z. And then Knockoff, just in general, is kind of a nice move, and something kind of nice that Tangela gets is, something like Spidef Tangela gets over something like Tangrowth. Obviously, worse stats, but it gets Synthesis, so that's kind of nice. Running specially defensive Sylveon, it's kind of an all-around. I mean, I guess I probably should have been a bit more Fizdef, I suppose, especially for Lopunny, so this was probably a bad prep on my part, but I just wanted to bring the Cleric set. It's kind of a nice set. Sub DD, Vaporeon is his answer, and Vaporeon can't break the sub. Vaporeon can, like, roar and stuff, so I was tempted to bring Taunt, but, like, I didn't, I guess. And just Intimidate's nice for stuff like Landorus. Just in general, it's nice to intimidate off the Landorus, and he has to blow a Z move if he wants to actually hit my Gyarados, so that's kind of nice as well. Especially defensive Klefki, what was this for? God, I don't even remember. I guess it was just there for, like, Thunder Wave. It was there for, like, priority. It was there for something, okay? I don't remember what it was there for, but it's there for priority. It gives me Spikes as well. Spike Sack is really nice. That's kind of the reason I didn't bring Defog. And then Magnet Rise, of course, for the Landorus. Dual status. Am I not dual status? I think I was dual status and then changed it to Magnet Rise. Yeah, okay. I'm not Thunder Wave because Lopunny is going to be Limber and Toxic is not. And Toxic is going to hit Landorus, whereas Thunder Wave would not. And I don't want him just setting up indefinitely on Play Rough, not doing a whole hell of a lot of damage, especially after an Intimidate. So that was the set right there. Scarf Blaziken gives me a little bit of extra speed control, I suppose you could say. Yeah, it's just a nice Pokemon in general. So enough of that. I'm going to start going into the team. So it's got a lot of interesting things he could lead off with. I'm expecting the Koko potentially lead, the Landorus potentially leading, or even maybe potentially Lopunny. So Tangela seems like a best all-round lead because of Regenerator. I can kind of pivot around with things. He's going to lead off with the Fortress, which means we both get up rocks, which is probably nicer for me in the long run, I would like to say, because I do have regen, and it's going to chip away at the Tapu Koko as one thing. The Landorus as another pretty big thing. Fortress doesn't have recovery, and the Rapidash, which is actually looking hella threatening against this team. Like, look at Rapidash and look at my switch-ins. He U-turns out into Starmie, and I calced this. Like, I was a bit confused why he did that, because obviously I know my set and max special defense, so I ran into the damage calc and I calced this, and the max roll for Ice Beam is not going to kill in any circumstance, and he's not even like Life Orb, so as you can see, it still doesn't do that. So yeah, he said he screwed up on his calcs with the Tabu Koko set, which is, so yeah, that's nice. We get to basically get rid of Starmie turn very early in the game. Go for Synthesis just a few times, and I'm like, you know what, I don't want to play around with freezes anymore. I went for Synthesis twice, and it gave me, I guess, a little bit of extra health, and then he got like a huge roll right there. You go from 40 to 46. That was a pretty huge roll. But then in comes Rapidash. So my one and only switch into this, because I'm not bringing Gyarados in because he could easily go right for a wild charge. Flare Blitz does so much damage, dude. Oh my! He's not going for Drill Run, definitely not when I've got a Gyarados, but that does so much damage, and he's Life Orb, and with all the recoil, he can't really switch out anyways, so High Jump Kick was fairly safe, and even if he went into Landorus, it would take a decent chunk, because, like, it's offensive Landorus. I just pivot out here into Gyarados. He calls that nicely by going into Tapu Koko. Gyarados is just nice, like, I don't need to sweep with Gyarados, I just need to keep Landorus from getting too threatening by intimidating it and by doing things like that. I go, of course, here into Klefki because he's not gonna, I mean, he could go for an electric move on the Tangela, but I don't really think he's going to, so this is just a nice switch in right here. I go for Magnetize right here as he just starts setting up, so like, the only way he can hit me is with Fly, and if I can bait the Z move out, which I can easily do with Gyarados, then that's good. He doesn't go for the Sword Dance that turn, so he can't even hit me with Fly on this turn, because he has to get a Sword Dance up in order for, like, Supersonic Skystrike to actually do anything threatening to Klefki, so I can just switch out here into Gyarados now. He goes up for a setup again, which, I mean, is fair. He's got enough turns to do it, but he's gonna have to blow his Z move. I Mega Evolve just because, like here's the thing, like, I know he's not going for Earthquake, right? So, like, I wanted to Mega Evolve just, like, to style, to show him that I knew he was going for Supersonic Sky Strike, but in hindsight, that was, like, a bad play, because, like, if he just randomly went for Earthquake, like, okay, like, in every other league, like, everyone knows me as the guy who, like, never Mega Evolves my Pokemon, because, like, I like to take advantage of the abilities and the stuff before it Mega Evolves, so I've been known to, like, not Mega Evolve just to kind of preserve the pre-game advantage as much as you can, like, Intimidate, like, Regenerator, so, but real talk, like, this was probably a bad play if he didn't, if he just randomly went for Earthquake, because then he'd have Supersonic Sky Strike in the back, which would be really, really bad, so the hindsight, this was a bad play, even though I did it just to style, like, I knew he was gonna go for Supersonic Sky Strike, so, like, I did it just to style, but real talk, that was a bad play, that was a potential choke. I mean, I don't think it would have lost me the game, but it was a bad play on my part. But I go into Klefki right here, and I know he has to fly because I've already shown the Magnetize, so I just take this opportunity to go for Spikes, because he's going to die to Toxic after 2 turns, and I wouldn't hit him there anyways, so I get 2 layers of Spikes up as he gets a hell of a lot of damage off with a +3 Fly, but like I said, he is going to die to Toxic right here, so for sure I stand by that play. There's no way he would have EQ'd into a Magnetize, or he could have, to be fair, predicting me to go for the Spikes, but I did have Protect in the back, and he would have died to 2 turns anyways, so, yeah, I think that was worth making. I may as well, and Fortress is now at 50%. He has to spin to get rid of the hazards, and he's now down to 50%. Mew is also really low, so I have to be afraid of that, because this is my Lopunny answer, and if I'm taking rocks, then, you know, I'm going to get 2 KO'd, so I basically have to sack something on Lopunny. I don't want to get Mew so low that, like, I just die to Lopunny straight up, so I have to be wary about that. I'm fine with sacking Klefki here, in all honesty, but he just U-turns. He doesn't want to give momentum into Tangela basically ever. But like I said, I don't want to, like, I don't really need Klefki anymore anyways. But yeah, I suppose that's it. He goes for EQ, I go to Mew. That's, like, insanely nice for me. If he went for Volt Switch, that would have been bad, but that's actually so nice for me, because that means I get to heal that turn. Volt Switch is on my heal into Tapu Koko, and like I said, I'm just going to sack Klefki again. It's going to give me the best options for momentum anyways, if he kills me with Tapu Koko, because I can go, like, into like Tangela. I can go into Tangela or something else after, and that'll be pretty good. I go for Toxic right here as he goes for the Power Up Punch. He's not going to Mega Evolve, of course, because he is going to not want to get Thunder Wave, which is, yeah, basically a thing. I go out here now into me right here. He goes for a Drain Punch. He misclicks one of these turns. I think it's the next turn he goes for Frustration, and he has Facade. And that, he said that was a misclick, but that didn't really matter because, like, I had Protect Sylveon in the back. Like, you'll see right here, like, he goes down to 24%, so I could have just, and he took 19 from, Poison, from the Poison last turn, so I could have, like, protected with Sylveon or anything like that, or even just sack like Clefty or something like that. Like, I've still got 4 Pokemon, so the misclick doesn't really matter at the end. I'm assuming he's Scarf Coco at this point, basically, well, at several points ago, so I was assuming he's Scarf Coco, so I'm like, I may as well save, Blaziken, for Fortress just in case. Like, I mean, Klefki's not doing anything anyways, and I can beat this anyways with max, I can beat max attack, Wild Charge, like, it's not going to do 52%, I'm just going to be able to knock off, and then with the Regenerator the next turn, I'm definitely going to be able to take on Coco, and he's not going to have enough turns to do basically enough for me anyways. And this is actually really interesting right here, because he has 2 turns of Electric Terrain left right here, so I can Hyper Voice this turn and take out the Fortress, and then he comes back in with Tapu Koko, and he doesn't set the Terrain back up, so I can just Protect right here on the last turn of Electric Terrain, and because of that, he's not going to be able to kill me with Wild Charge, because Terrain's going to go down. Like I said, his EVs were screwed up, so, like, from what I understand, he was Adamant, but max special attack or something, so a bit unfortunate with the set, but we are able to pull out right there with a 3-0 win, so yeah, that was pretty good. Tangela doing pretty good. Tangela's doing pretty decent. Yeah, no, I like the team. I like the draft. I think I might do a draft analysis for it, because it is a pretty fun draft. But yeah, that's week 1, and I guess I'll see you guys for week 2.